is Catherine Corcoran, and I work in the model shop here at APH. Behind me, you can see some of the patterns that we've made in the model shop. We have perhaps 300 to 400 different patterns here, and from these we make thousands of products every year. We're going to go downstairs now, and I'm going to show you from start to finish how we make an epoxy pattern. What I want to show you first is the artwork. And this artwork is from a book called Earth Science Tactile Graphics. Along with the artwork here, the specialists have designed for me a black and white. Now this artwork will eventually become the master pattern. In other words, I'm going to manipulate these 4 pages of the book to give them some dimensionality, so make them tactile. As you can see, I've added the clay to this pattern right here. I filled in the areas of our topographical map. Moving down here, you can see that progress has been made in our terraces where we've added a lot of clay. This page up here, there's 4 pages on this entire pattern, is a mountain range that's going to be showing the glacier, what a glacier does to the topography as it comes through the earth. Now, what's different about this pattern is that each one of these is a ½ an inch tall, and that's good for me because I get to sculpt, but for the person that's going to be vacuum forming this pattern is going to be a challenge. That vacuums all the air out of the rubber so that when it's cast, we won't get any voids in our epoxy. Our master pattern is now complete. We've added the last elements to it. Everything is clayed in so the rubber doesn't seep underneath the elements. And we put a light coat of wax on it so that the rubber can release. This will be the last time we use this master pattern. From here on, we're going to be making the epoxy pattern. It's been 24 hours since we poured our rubber mold. So now we're going to work it up and take a look and see how well everything came out. Now you can see where some of the master pattern is being destroyed because it sticks to the rubber, but now we have a rubber mold. This is epoxy resin. We're going to add a catalyst to it. It's actually the catalyst that's kind of nasty. It has to be mixed very thoroughly. And we'll probably do this 3 times, maybe 2 or 3 times to complete the pattern on this one because there's such a big area. You would think we would pour this or work with a very large brush, but to get into all the detail, especially the braille dots, we use a very small brush and we're going to be working it in. I'll go back 3 or 4 times over this and build it up, but this first layer is key because this gets the detail. I'm going to be putting a layer of fiberglass cloth, actually 8 layers of fiberglass cloth over on top of all this. The first resin that we used was a casting resin. That's the gray stuff. And this resin is a laminating resin. We're going to be putting these patterns on machines that get up to 800 degrees. So these resins are heat resistant. The hard part comes when we put the first layer of fiberglass cloth on. It's virtually unmovable if it doesn't go down without a lot of wrinkles in it. Subsequent layers are easier to adjust, but that first one can be a real bear. On top of that, we've got a lot of depressions in this. Usually a pattern is pretty much flat, so it's easier to get your fiberglass where you need it to be. Now we're kind of pushing this fiberglass cloth down into the casting resin. You can see it's what we call wetting out. It's starting to soak up. the gray resin, which is tacky but not hard yet, and it's letting the fiberglass cloth embed. Okay, it's been overnight. We let the epoxy set up, and we're going to take the rubber mold off now and see what we got. Okay, well, it looks like it came out very well. What I'm doing here is drilling holes. There's several hundred holes on this pattern, and these holes are very important because this is what gives us the vacuum. When we seal this epoxy onto our board over here, it'll be airtight, and that's what gives us a true vacuum. Well, I've prepared this wire mesh. It's called hardware cloth, and this gets stapled in place. This will allow the air to flow underneath our pattern, and that's why we've cut holes in the wood. These saw kerfs allow the air to flow continually through the wood underneath the pattern, and with the holes that we've drilled into the pattern, we'll get good suction, and hopefully the art will fall into place. I'm checking the heat to make sure the pattern gets hot. We're getting ready to vacuum form this now. This is the last stage in the process, and the graphic has formed over our pattern. It's still a little bit off, but we can adjust this with the registration pins that we've set up. We will move the graphic around till it lines up just perfectly before we send it upstairs to production.